Hi, I'm Paul Harding, and this is my new book, Enon, and you are watching Book Zone.
So Enon is a town in Massachusetts, but what's the story about?
Right, well, Enon is actually the original colonial name for the town in which I grew up in Massachusetts, a little village almost called Wenham. But I wanted to just change the name so that I could transpose it into the fictional realm and sort of do what I would with it without being sort of beholden to the facts.
A man's daughter dies, his wife leaves him, he descends into drugs and alcohol. What was your inspiration?
The inspiration, it sort of came to me I sort of just got a single image that came in the form almost of a silhouette. This black silhouette of a kind of exaggerated hillside that was studded with headstones, and at the top there was this sort of figure of a guy creeping across the top of the hill under the moonlight. And I knew all at once that he was Charlie Crosby, the protagonist of the story, and that his daughter was buried at the bottom of the hill, and that he was sneaking behind her after a night of misadventure because he was ashamed of what he had become since her death.
So is this a ghost story, a fantasy? How would you describe it?
It's certainly partially a ghost story, partly because he's haunted by his daughter. It's also, I don't know if it's fantasy so much, but it definitely exists in the realm of the imagination. A lot of the story takes place in Charlie's imagination. What he does is he repatriates the ghost of his daughter into what he thinks of as the kind of nether version of Enon, in which all of the people who have lived there throughout the 350 years of its existence coexist. And it's a way of him it's almost like Perseus using the mirror to be able to look at Medusa without turning to stone. It's a way that he mediates the loss and can kind of negotiate it in this imaginary realm. Then he gets addicted to drugs and alcohol, and it turns increasingly phantasmagoric and problematic.
Your debut novel, Tinkers, won the Pullitzer Prize in 2010.
Right.
You didn't feel like retiring after that?
Part of me maybe. No, I didn't. It's a strange experience having that happen for your first book, because you kind of feel like, oh, it's my career is sort of front loaded, and now how do you follow that up? But no, I didn't. I just felt like it was, in some ways, I just tried to use it as motivation for quality control for the second book.
You used to play drums in a rock band. What made you put down the drumsticks and pick up the pen?
The band broke up. This is inevitably what happens. The band broke up. I didn't have any chance for vertical movement. Only lateral, which was not good at that point. My wife was sick of me being on the road all the time. And I find that writing scratches the same itch as playing drums, although in maybe not obvious ways.
Paul, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you. My pleasure.
The book is called Enon, and the author is Paul Harding.